It's time now for Mark Meets, in which I speak to the biggest names in the world of politics, showbiz, sport, business and beyond. Tonight, boxing legend Duke McKenzie. Duke is a three-weight world champion, having held the IBF flyweight title, the WBO bantamweight title and the WBO junior featherweight title. At regional level, he held the British and European flyweight titles and the British featherweight title too. He's won it all. He went on to have a successful career as a boxing commentator on ITV and Box Nation. And he still packs a punch, and I'm delighted to say that a true British sporting legend, Duke McKenzie MBE, joins me now. Hi, Duke.
Hi, Mark.
Congratulations on the MBE.
Thank you very much.
Did you receive it from Charles or the Queen?
Princess Anne.
Oh, I love Anne.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. It was a packed house, and there was obviously other people receiving different awards. And I watched her for about a good half an hour before I got in to do my MBE, before I got mine. And she knew everybody's name. She knew where they'd come from. She made a real point in asking people how their journey. She just made conversation. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, for me, she's cut from the same cloth as her mother. She's humble, she's sensible, sense of duty, no nonsense, and a dry wit. Yeah,
very much so, yeah. It was a lovely day. All my kids were there, and it was a very proud moment for me. And, it gave me an MBE. I'm honoured.
You remember what she said to you?
Yeah, she asked me my name, and she said to me how proud she felt for me, and this was a big day for me and my family. I should enjoy the occasion, so which we did. It was fabulous. Getting all dressed up, going to Windsor Castle and receiving an MBE. Fantastic. Remarkable
story. Yep. Let's talk about your incredible career.
Yes.
Why were you so good at adapting to different weights?
Sometimes you have to ride off of somebody else's confidence until yours kicks in. And I had a brother, Dudley, who gave me just about everything I needed to become a successful professional boxer. So, I had a great manager also in Mickey Duff, and had a great coach in Colin Smith. So this little team that was put together helped me to achieve incredible things in the professional sport of boxing. And, British champion, European champion, world champion. I don't really know. Sometimes I pinch myself, Mark, because I look back on my career and I'm one of the real lucky ones. I really am. So I've had a privileged career. I've worked really hard to get to where I got. And I suppose at the end result is, I can still walk in a straight line.
For sure. Was it graft or was it talent?
More graft than talent. I come from a big boxing family. My elder brother Clinton went to the 1976 Olympic Games representing Great Britain. My brother Dudley was a hugely successful amateur boxer. Went unbeaten for like 8 years, went to the World Junior Championships. And Clinton also was a British and a European champion. So my role models in this sport, really, were just always in touching distance. And I just watched what my brother's done and tried to emulate what they done. And I ended up going one step further. But I've always been quite a humble guy, and I've always thought to myself, I'm never going to be bigger than the sport. And I've always said to Dudley had always said to me, even as a world champion, you're beatable. So when defeat did come my way, I always knew there was going to be a way back for me because, you're champion for that night. You've got to beat the guy that's in front of you, so you're world champion for that night. And then it's just like the hungry wolves are chasing you down, and they're going to get you eventually. Nobody's unbeatable, not even Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. Nobody gets out of this with an unblemished record. Yeah. There are very few boxers that retire undefeated. So for me to say, or sit here, I should say, as a three-division world champion, I consider it a privilege and an honour.
And what gave you over the edge in the ring over those that you beat?
I would say I'm very tenacious, incredibly fit, determined, skillful to a point. But a lot of it, believe it or not, is luck, because you've got to turn up on the night. Psychologically, mentally, you've got to be prepared, and your preparation doesn't start on the night, it starts months in advance. Boxers walk a very, very fine line, and you need the right sort of support. So I had the right support. I had a great coach in Colin Smith. I had a fantastic manager in Mickey Duff. And with Dudley by my side, I really felt I couldn't lose.
So take me through a really tough day of training. What time does the alarm go off?
4 a.m. You get up at 4 a.m, you do like a 6-8 mile run, back to bed for a couple of hours.
You do that Rocky thing where you wear loads of layers?
The whole shebang, yeah. I mean, listen, making weight is the part and parcel of any professional boxer's life. And, you've got to make weight, you've got to dry out, you've got to not eat this and eat that. And it was different in my day. Today you've got nutritionists, you've got dietitians, you've got people that will help you make weight in a safe way. But in my way, it was just
starvation.
Yeah, starvation, plastic bag, tracksuits, hoodies, you name it, and go out and do your run and just starve yourself and make weight.
How did the family get involved in boxing?
My older brother, Clinton, his best friend at school was a guy called Frankie Lucas, and he introduced Clinton to boxing. And then my other brother started, and then Dudley started, and then I started eventually. My career was the opposite of theirs because as an amateur I was very, very poor, but as a professional I excelled.
Yeah, why is that, do you think?
Again, I had the great manager in Mickey Duff, who was what Alex Ferguson was to Man United. Mickey Duff was that to the boxing fraternity, certainly the late Mickey Duff. He's gone, God rest his soul. But he gave me one of the most valuable things that you can give anybody, and that was his time. He gave me more time than I could have ever dreamt for or ever hoped for. And he took me all over the world, learning me my trade. And then, even when I lost him major title fights, he never turned his back on me. He just kept taking me to another level because he had that much belief.
And he took you from a fairly average amateur into being a top pro.
I have the worst amateur credentials of any professional world boxing champion.
Why did he take you?
I was very, very cheeky, very, very tenacious. And I hounded the hell out of him, that's the truth. I used to ring him up long distance in America and he'd call him collect and he'd have to answer the phone. And, yeah, all this went on for months. But, he liked me and I knew he liked me. And he saw something in me which nobody else did, fortunately.
Yeah.
And he stuck with me and I sit here as a 3-division champion. So
And he obviously knew that you wanted it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was very tenacious. I used to ring him pretty much every day at his office. Sometimes when he wasn't even there, I'd still call up or even turn up. And I'd wait for him like a little lapdog at his office to turn up because he used to live in Los Angeles. Yeah. So I'd go to his office at Wardour Street, wait for him there. Most days he never showed up, but then I'd just wait until he did. And then it just went on for quite some time until in the end, I just had such an effect on him. He went, well, yeah, there's a contract, sign it. Pretty
Amazing.
much.
And anything he told you to do, you did it?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
You put in the hard yards. Because you must have known other talented boxers who fell by the wayside because they just wouldn't, put in the hours.
Oh, yeah, listen, countless. My gym was packed with talent. Guys like Frank Bruno, my brothers obviously were in the gym. And, plenty of guys in the gym that never made it because they didn't have the dedication. You have to be dedicated to the core and you have to be, I'd say, borderline obsessed with your job.
So you're not going out, you're not having loads of girlfriends, that kind of thing?
Never went out, never had loads of girlfriends, bed at 6 o'clock on a summer's evening. Some of the things I used to do were like just borderline, probably, pretty crazy, I'd say. But, it brought me a lot of success, so I've got no complaints.
What were those crazy things?
Like I say, going to bed at 6 o'clock on a summer's evening, getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, doing like an 8-mile run on
eating odd food at God knows what time.
Eating next to nothing, making weight. But these are the
And then when you were eating, what was it? Was it like 10 fried eggs and things like that?
Oh, sure. I mean, listen, I could put on a stone overnight. Once you've had the official weigh-in, you just eat constantly. I'd set my clock every 4 hours to eat and make sure I just filled myself up and bang the weight back on.
What about being in the ring? Is there a fear? Are you afraid?
Always fearful. Not necessarily of being hurt. I think more of the humiliation of losing in a fight. That's quite crippling. And I think out of my 3 World Championship fights, or my 3 World title fights I had, I think losing my 2nd World Championship was probably the worst for me. Yeah. I got destroyed in like 2 minutes, 10 seconds of the first round at the Royal Albert Hall on a Saturday night. I got ruined. And I never went out my front door for about 6-8 weeks after the fight. Just totally humiliated. And to face people that I know and love, that was quite painful. But the only way back for me was to be successful again. So Dudley said to me, listen, little man, as he would call me, he said, there's another belt out there for you. You just got to go out and get it. Rededicate yourself and go out and get it. So I did exactly what he told me to do. I went out there and Mickey Duff got me another world title opportunity, and which I took. And my career went up from strength to strength.
Did you make a good living from it?
I done okay. Did I make a good living? Ask my ex-wife.
Yes,
that's right.
She's enjoying the trappings of it now.
Yeah.
And you weren't tempted for that one last fight that so many boxers.
Yeah, I made an aborted return to the ring, but then I realised that I didn't have it anymore, and life goes on. But, you have to go through this process because all fighters do.
And you don't know unless you try, right?
You don't know unless you try. And, let's get it right. People think that everybody can be like Anthony Joshua or Frank Bruno and make, millions and millions of pounds. For every one that makes it to the top of the sport, very few actually make a good financial living out of it. You can count as far as on one hand. A lot of boxers today, not a lot, but there are quite a few boxers today which are actually suffering as a direct result from their sport, with mental health, with poor health. And I'm actually involved with an organisation called the Ringside Charitable Trust, who are an organisation put together by Paul Fairweather. He surrounded himself with a team, and they're trying to raise monies for a care home for retired boxers that have fallen on hard times. And believe it or not, there are quite a few boxers that are suffering as we speak, homeless probably, drink dependency, drug dependency, and don't have anywhere to turn to or there's no help. The top promoters aren't getting involved. The real big ones, like your Barry Hearns of the world, like your Frank Warrens of the world, they're not putting their name to this. They've almost washed their hands of it. Why? I don't know. But we're trying to help this organisation, raise the profile of this organisation. We've recently been to Florida, where there was an event put on by the Moft Foundation in conjunction with Kids Beating Cancer and also the Ringside Charitable Trust to raise the profile of the sport, to raise monies for a much-needed care home specifically for retired boxers that have fallen on hard times.
What a brilliant cause, the Ringside Charitable Trust. And you're involved with Mind as well as an ambassador.
I am.
You lost your brother to suicide.
I did, yes.
Devastating. And therefore a very important cause for you.
Yeah, I will probably never get over the loss of my brother Dudley. We were more than brothers. And it's something that I have to live with every day. But I have to use that in a much more positive way and try and give back. I don't see myself as a boxing coach or promoter or anything like that. I like doing the job that I do as an ambassador for the Mind organisation and also helping as an ambassador for the Ringside Charitable Trust. Because I say there are a lot of boxers as we speak which are absolutely desperate and need help. So I'm giving my all for this organisation to help them raise the profile so they can get enough monies together so they can get this care home up and running off the ground. And with the help of Paul Fairweather and Dave Harris, it's going to become a success. And
those care homes are very important for the boxing community because, let's be honest, the body and the brain takes a bit of a hammering.
Yeah, listen, it's not croquet. It is a hurt business, unfortunately. And but there are boxes which will get damaged, like a Michael Watson, as an example. Mark Galt is another boxer that I know. Spencer Oliver is another guy who had a tragic injury in the sport. But these guys have got a lot of support now from different organisations or from the Ringside Charitable Trust, I should say, and are trying to put their lives back together with their help.
And, of course, Muhammad Ali, I think, suffered from, cognitive issues towards the end of his life.
Unfortunately.
Probably related to the sport.
Yeah, probably related to the sport.
Dudley, of course, what a contribution he made to your career, and he was your brother, which is a double blow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really know how I survived it, but I did. But, my best days are ahead of me. This is what I keep saying to myself. I've got a lot of time for people, and I'm the kind of guy, if I go shopping on a Saturday, if I go shopping with my wife on a Saturday, if I go missing down one aisle, I'll just start talking to somebody. That's just how I am. Because you don't know if that person spoke to anybody for the whole day. Yeah. So one of the gifts my brother gave me was, make time for people. Give people a little bit of time because, they might not have spoken to somebody. You might not have spoken to somebody all day. And then you just give them that little 10 minutes and then you just don't know where it's going to take him or them.
Well, I'm so grateful that you've given us your time tonight. It's such an inspiring story, an amazing career, an amazing life, so much more to do. Let's give a plug to the gym, which is, thank God, open after lockdown. What's it called?
The Jukebox. The Jukebox.
Oh,
gym.
perfect. The Jukebox, right? Yeah. D-U-K-E.
D-U-K-E.
Where is it?
South Croydon.
Right, I might go down there and pump some iron. I could do with beefing up a little bit.
Come
you
down
willing to train me? You be my coach?
I'll be your coach, 100%.
You get me up at 4 a.m?
I'll get you up at 3 a.m.
There you go. Cook me some steaks.
Absolutely.
A few fried eggs.
And more eggs, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, that would do it. The Ringside Charitable Trust, do check out the amazing work they do. My thanks to the amazing Duke McKenzie MBE.